I don't think I'd realised how long I'd been living in survival mode until I started noticing what it was taking from me. Not just my energy, but my peace, my softness, my ability to actually enjoy my life while I was living it. And I think for a long time, I thought surviving was just what adulthood and maybe even faith was supposed to feel like. And if you're new here, I'm Emily. This channel is slowly becoming a place where I talk about faith, home, overwhelm, healing, and learning how to build a softer, calmer life. Not perfectly, just honestly. Now, over the last few years, I've been navigating epilepsy, chronic illness, functional neurological symptoms, emotional exhaustion, and a lot of pressure internally and externally, while also trying to hold on to peace through all of it. And I think that's partly why I've been thinking so deeply about survival mode lately. Because I think survival mode can become so normal that you stop recognizing it. Constant pressure, constant rushing, constant emotional noise. Always trying to stay on top of everything. Always recovering from something. Always getting through. And eventually, you stop asking whether you're actually living well because you become so focused on coping. For me, survival mode didn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it just looked like constantly pushing past myself, feeling guilty for resting, struggling to slow down, feeling like I always needed to be useful or productive to deserve peace. And I think over time, it disconnected me from parts of myself. Joy became harder to access. Rest felt uncomfortable. Even quiet moments felt unfamiliar sometimes. I was physically present in my life, but not always emotionally present inside it. One of the hardest things is that survival mode can start to feel like your personality. You stop noticing how tense you are, how much pressure you carry, how difficult it feels to truly exhale, because you adapt to it. And I think what I'm learning now is that healing often begins in much quieter ways than we expect. It doesn't happen through suddenly fixing your whole life overnight, but through gentler routines, slower mornings, learning to rest before burnout instead of after it. Learning that peace isn't laziness, that slowing down isn't failure, that caring for yourself isn't weakness. I've been learning to build calmer rhythms into my life and home in really ordinary ways. Opening the windows, making tea slowly, resetting one room instead of overwhelming myself with the whole house, spending time outside, letting myself rest without feeling guilty for it. And honestly, I don't think God created us just to constantly survive our lives. I think He created us to actually live them. I've also been realizing that God often feels easier to hear when my life isn't completely consumed by noise and pressure. Not because he disappears in hard seasons, but because survival mode can make it difficult to be fully present. And I don't think faith was ever meant to feel like constant panic, exhaustion, or proving yourself. I think peace matters more to God than we sometimes realise. It's not a passive peace that avoids life, but a grounded kind of peace that lets you stay connected to yourself, to others, and to Him. I'm learning that God is still present in daily life too, in rest, in quietness, in nature, in slowing down enough to notice beauty again. The breeze through the trees, bird song, lights through a window, a peaceful moment at home. He is present in those things more than we realise. I think one of the saddest things about survival mode is how easily it convinces you that this is just who you are. That exhaustion is normal, that pressure is normal, that constantly carrying too much is normal. But we weren't created to only survive our lives. I think we were created for peace, presence, beauty, relationship, rest, and lives that actually have room to breathe. And maybe healing begins when we stop treating survival mode like a permanent identity or prove our worth through exhaustion or carrying everything all the time. When we stop believing we have to earn rest or prove our worth through exhaustion or carrying everything all the time. Maybe healing starts by learning how to live more gently again. And if any part of this resonated with you, you're really welcome here. This is Heldon Home, and I think I'm slowly learning how to build a softer life, one small rhythm at a time. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.